Hi yogis, I'm Leigha Butler. Welcome to this 20-minute class. It'll be a restorative class for opening your shoulders. So much of it is going to be seated on our knees. There'll be one or two standing postures and we'll move back down to the mat. So you won't really need anything except for yourself and the mat. So let's take a comfortable seated position to start. And sitting upright, let's close the eyes and tune into breath. We can find our center line. Allow for a sense of calm to bubble up into the system. And let your breath be long and slow. If you like, you can make a friction sound at the back of your throat in Ujjayi breath. It's a triumphant chest breath or yogic breathing. And to begin, I'm going to take your right hand, taking hold just above the left elbow. So you'll grip it so that you provide an anchor or a counterweight for that left arm. And then we'll take the right ear to the right shoulder. So time is on our side. Time is the essential ingredient, that and gravity, for opening the muscles of the body. So be sure to let the shoulders be heavy. The head will be heavy. The breath will be slow. Try to envision that long line of muscle at the side of your neck growing longer as you relax here. To take this a little farther, slide your right hand across to your left temple. Keep both shoulders heavy and allow for this neck opening. The neck is so closely related to the shoulders. A lot of shoulder tension can creep up into the neck and vice versa. And spend another moment or two with it. And then return to neutral position. You can just sit upright for a moment, notice the difference in the sides. And then we'll do the second side. So left hand grips just above the right elbow. You're providing a weight or an anchor there as you take the left ear to the left shoulder. And sprinkling a little time in with gravity and breath. And tuning in to the sensation of the ropey neck muscles getting longer and more supple as we sit here and breathe. Let the full breaths change the shape of your body. Let it open. Keep relaxing both shoulders and keep giving the weight of the head over to gravity. To take it a step farther, draw the hand to the side of your right temple. And we'll just encourage the head even heavier, and now you can feel that tug all the way from the neck down into the shoulder. We'll spend a few more rounds of breath right here. Soft and supple breath. Good, and then release it. Take your head back to neutral and relax both arms. Let's tip ourselves back so we can switch the crossing of our legs. Sitting up very tall. And continue with shoulder opening. So we'll draw this right arm across the chest. Take your left arm and encourage it even farther across. You can lift your chest up into the arm and squeeze a little harder, arm to chest. At the same time, you'll be drawing that right shoulder back and down just a little bit. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. The harder you pull, the more of a stretch you'll feel in the outer shoulder. It's amazing that sometimes just the act of breathing will provide a small stretch, sometimes a big stretch. And let's release that. Even shake it out. And then opposite side, left arm across your chest, the right arm hooks around just to help it. So squeeze the arm into the chest at the same time that you lift your sternum up into your arm. As you do that, draw the left shoulder backward just a touch and let it drop down. Keep squeezing in. It can be a pretty powerful squeezing in to really arrive at that opening for the outer shoulder. Take a few big rounds of breath. One more cycle. And then release. We can even shake it out just a little bit. Okay. Let's shift it. We'll come on to all fours for the next piece. Set your hands about underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. You can spread the fingers, and it doesn't matter if the toes are tucked or untucked. I'm going to start with the left side, so we're going to sweep this arm up about as high as it'll go. Spend a little time pushing down in order to reach up, and then draw the creases of your elbows to the front of the mat. That has the effect of rolling your shoulders into the back body and opening them just a little bit more. Another cycle or two here. And we'll take it farther by wrapping this left arm all the way around the back. Get it to tuck as far back as it'll tuck. Maybe it's just the back body. Some of you will be able to reach the side of the waist, or maybe even into the right thigh. If you catch the right thigh, aim to straighten that left arm. And it's so okay if your body doesn't make this shape. Just do your best. And take a couple big breaths. Unravel, coming all the way up and open. And we'll find the opposite movement, threading the needle. So left arm comes all the way under. Place the left shoulder on the ground, the left cheek on the ground. And then I find if you can keep your hand at the level of your shoulder, sneak it even farther over, join your palms and try to straighten both arms. It requires a pretty big twist of the upper spine and shoulder girdle. So in that way, it's a very nice opening. Let's take a few rounds of breath here, nice and slow ones. And then we'll come out of it, placing the right hand on the ground. Let's sweep this left arm all the way up and open. And then we'll finish with a couple of giant circles. So huge circle, explore the range of motion of this arm. Shoulders have a really wide range of motion, and for that reason there can be instabilities there. A little discomfort, so it's good to keep up the range of motion. And we'll place both hands down. Let's head into the second side. I'm going to sweep the right arm all the way up. And as I do, I'll press down in order to lift a little bit higher. I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. And that's what opens up through both shoulders. Keep your hands as they are, but spin the creases of your elbows to the front of your mat. It's a subtle shift, but it's a big one because it rolls the shoulders onto your back body a little farther. Take another breath or two. This might even fatigue your deltoid muscles, the upper shoulders. Good, and then take it farther, wrapping that arm all the way around your back. And let the fingers land wherever they do, the back body, the waist, and maybe even the crease of the hip onto the thigh. Try wrapping that right shoulder even farther onto your back, and if you feel very open, work toward a straight right arm. Wherever you are, find that mobility in the right shoulder and breathe to it. Let's unravel, come all the way up, and now we'll thread the needle. Right arm, right underneath, we'll plant this right shoulder. See if you can sneak it even farther out, but don't cheat. A cheat would be this, hand closer to the knee. Keep the hand in line with the shoulder joint. Join the palms together and try to find two straight arms, one on top of the other. We'll take a handful of breaths. Just keeping the rotational capacity of your shoulder girdle alive and well. It's good for the whole body, especially the spine. And do another round of breath. And then we'll unravel, left hand plants. As we slide this right arm all the way up, I'm going to make a few giant circles again, just huge circles to explore the full range of motion of this joint. Nice and slow. And then settling it down. We'll move from here into puppy pose or anahatasana, heart melting pose. So keep your hips above your knee line. That's really essential. They tend to go back or forward, but just keep checking to make sure they're about above your knees. You're going to walk the hands forward in order to melt the chest right down. Now here are the ways the body likes to cheat. First way is it tries to bend the elbows. Try to keep them relatively straight. Second way is it tries to take your hands wider than your shoulders, which makes this easier. Try keeping your hands about as wide as your shoulders, not much wider. Okay, you can drop the head however it feels comfortable and let the chest be very, very heavy. This is a giant opening from the armpit side of the shoulders and up into the triceps, down into the lats. We'll take about 5 breaths in this one. Imagine that your heart had a lead weight. And then we'll climb it slowly back up into all fours. We'll move into a couple of other shapes. Let's stretch this right leg behind us. Step the foot between your hands, and you can always help it forward. Sink the hips forward, but make sure the knee is above the ankle line. We'll climb up onto the thigh and press down in order to lift your heart up. We'll take the arms open wide to a T, and we'll catch eagle arms. Taking the left arm underneath the right, so squeeze nice and tight, wrap there. Maybe you can wrap twice, taking fingertips to palms. Send the elbows away from you, and then reach the arms farther and farther up. And if it feels like you can, lift until the forearm bones are parallel to the ceiling. Take a couple giant breaths right here. Open it wide to release it. And then plant your hands on the mat. Let's switch the sides. So come back to all fours. Extending the left leg behind you. Step this foot between your hands. It's okay to help it. Sneak the hips forward until the knee is above the ankle line, but not farther forward than that. Climb up onto your thigh and sit up very tall. Hug the belly back in order to lift the heart up. Take the arms open wide. And we'll catch eagle arms on the opposite side, so right arm is under. Wrap super tight. Maybe you can wrap twice. It's okay if you can't. Send the elbows forward. That pulls the shoulder blades apart. And then reach up as high as you'll go, as if you're straightening your arms. If it feels okay, tip it up even higher. Point your chest up until the forearm bones are in line with the ceiling. We'll take a few giant breaths right here. It's a balance element here, no doubt. But keep the firmness of your lower body feeding the fluidity of your upper body. All of that heat is like a furnace underneath you, and it'll make you more fluid and open at top. Another round of breath or two. To unravel, open it wide, like you're giving someone a bear hug. And then we'll settle the hands all the way down. Let's do one more. We'll tuck the toes underneath, stepping to the top of the mat. Bow all the way in, just to roll right back up to the top. We're going to keep our feet hips distance apart. Put a bend through your knees and then interlace your fingers behind you. Spend a few moments taking the knuckles away from your back body and lifting the chest forward. If this feels impossible, you can always hook one finger or take a belt or a strap. So lift and spread through the chest. And then begin to tip it forward. You'll rest your belly right on your thighs. It's totally okay to bend your knees. It's even recommended. We'll bow, bow, bow until we tuck the chin. And only now start to slowly straighten. Try staying attached to your legs. Let the head be truly heavy and allow the knuckles to fly overhead. We'll take a few rounds of breath. They call this flossing the shoulders. It's so healthy for the rotator cuffs, just to keep them open. Put a little bend back in your knees. Release the arms as you slowly roll back up to stand. And we'll take that on the second side. So we'll bend the knees, interlace again with the non-habitual finger on top. And sometimes it feels a little strange. Take the knuckles away from your back body, spread through your chest, send the shoulders onto your back if you can find that feeling. Expand. And then the front body lies right down on the thighs. Bend right into it, go super low. Tuck the head eventually. And then let there be a slow straightening out. Knuckles flying overhead. Relax the head and neck. The legs don't ever have to be straight. It's okay if the knees are bent. Big breaths into the shoulders. Put a little bend back into your knees, release the arms. This time plant hands on the earth and we're gonna sit right back down. Let's take a final seat. Normally in the practice we'll end with hands at prayer. Since today is a shoulder opening practice, I want to invite you to take the hands behind you. If you can reach, do knuckle to knuckle. If that's no big deal, take elbow to elbow. And if that's still no big deal, draw the backs of the palms together, reach up until you can flip them inside out. So this is Anjali Mudra at the back body. We'll hug the belly in. Take a big breath into your chest, reach up. Thank you, yogis. Namaste.